Hey friends, I'm back in the hives this week, and I've been paying attention to stuff. So I know many of you are eager finding out if I'm going to have myself a harvest soon, and it's still an open-ended question just because it took me until mid-June to get the momentum going on my hives with all the bizarre chaos that happened. But that hive over there has a long way to go. There's 3 boxes and the top one has really nothing going on. I don't even have the honey supers put on there. One of my goals for each hive, for them to have enough food for their own overwintering, I want them to have each 10 full frames of these deep frames of honey, which would probably amount to about 100 pounds for them to eat, and anything above that is considered surplus. So that one has very little. They're still building their infrastructure. Of course, my Ocean View hive, I was kind of in wishful thinking mode this whole summer, and I put a couple supers on there, but they're still bare frames or scattered leftover wax that was damaged from last year's collection. But then getting into the boxes, the deep boxes, to see what's going on, there's some pretty good things. This one's being quite productive that we're having. I'm gonna pull out one of these frames just to show you that this one here is actually, yeah, they're working on it. All right, try not to squish any bees. But what I have is a lot of glistening honey. Let's see if I could catch it in the light to show you what's going on. This is what we would call uncapped honey, that we get in there really close. Yeah, now you can see the glisten happening. And so this is nectar they've harvested. They're still a little rebuilding of comb right in the middle. You can see how it's kind of indented right here and filled up all the way on the outside. Well, what they're doing at this point in time, after they've collected this honey, this nectar, and converting it to honey, look at this side, how it's all glistening. They are fanning it with their wings. Actually, none of them are fanning it right now, but what they are doing is after they've filled up the cells, they start to actually fan it with their wings to lower the specific gravity. In scientific terms, in basic terms, that means they cause the water to evaporate. And they know when it gets to a certain thickness that it is ready to be capped. And when it is ready to eat and not so watered down that it would ferment, they put wax on it. And so here is an example of the outer frame. Top of it is capped, bottom is not yet, so they're going to be working on that. But that's a full, a lot of these frames have this thing going on. So what's going to happen is I think I'm going to keep an eye on this one. If this one's being more productive than the other ones, I may actually use its resources to replenish and feed off the other hives. This is why all you backyard beekeepers, it's good to have at least 2 hives. If one of them is struggling, you can actually add the resources to the other ones. And so I could have this one continue to fill things up, give the other ones a head start possibly, and then have possibly enough to go for honey supers afterwards. But that's what's the update here. I mean, I'll post a little bit more and splice it in if need be, but otherwise the other one's laying eggs, and I'm just going to check to make sure that these 2 are laying eggs as well, because August is a lot of times the harvest season. I've already seen other beekeepers on Facebook posts posting their harvests, and that would have happened if things were on top of things, because it's been a nice adequately damp year. There's no drought, which means there's enough nectar to go on. I mean, look how green the lawn is, and I'm not watering it, but that's where we are.